Sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we're singing with somebody, or we're offering music that's pre-recorded to somebody who is very subtle about their responses for a number of different reasons. Right? This happens a lot when people are in transition between really being engaged with the living world and their process of dying. So that process has to do with disengaging from the outside world and pulling back inside oneself. And then from that point, people go into a process of actively dying that can be extended. So the most important thing to understand is that during that whole process, during transition time, during active dying time, people can hear just as well as they could before they were ill. So if they were hard of hearing before, they will continue to be hard of hearing, but the hearing does not decline, even as their ability to show their response does decline. So that's where your accountability and your responsibility as someone who's bringing sound into the room becomes really important. The number one thing to watch, and the most important gauge, is right here between the eyes, where the eyebrows meet. This place tends to be very spontaneous. It's almost like if you give a baby something that they like to taste, eyebrows will go up. If people see a friend that they know on the street, the eyebrows go up. It's almost out of we can control it. It's like breathing. You can control it, but it happens automatically as well. If someone is in pain and they're actively dying, very often they will still show by furrowing their brow. It's not always a deep furrow that it might be when they're, more well, but you can see there's a furrow that starts to happen. People pull their brow down. Every once in a while you meet somebody whose resting face is a furrowed brow, so it's going to be a different story. But for most people, you can see right there. I have played with, probably thousands of people as they're actively dying at this point in my career, and I have watched so many eyebrows go up. Right in the middle of a song, especially if I know the patient and I knew them while they were still showing response, I can see them respond at the exact same time in a song that they did earlier. So the eyebrows go up when people are accepting. They go up when they hear a voice of a loved one, right? So they're going to go up. Potentially, if they go up, let's just say, then you're on exactly the right track. That's being accepted. What you're offering is being accepted, right? Other things that happen are people's faces sort of open a little. It's more subtle than the eyebrows, but there's a little tiny bit of opening. Sometimes there becomes more color in the face because the blood is flowing slightly differently because they're engaged in listening in a different way. Sometimes you'll see over time the breath may slow, the breath may become more even. You might see a little bit of relaxing of the muscles of the face, of the muscles of the upper body. You might see a hand unclench just a little bit. All those things are signs that you're doing well. The things you want to make sure don't happen are that people start to look like they're pulling back. They're somehow trying to get away from the sound. It's very subtle, so watch closely. But you might see a little more tension, there's a pulling back, there's a slight furrow, there may be that, okay? So you're not going to cause, a lot of damage, but you want to be super respectful and careful as people are in these really tender and sacred times of their life. It is a great time for music, and it has to be done really, really carefully.